Well, open your damn eyes in. It's the old-timey country down-home red state update podcast and them. Coming to you from a bunker underneath Jackie's Market in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And here they are, both of them.
Hey there, everybody. This is Jackie Bros.
Folks, people, it's Dunlap. Welcome to the Red State Update podcast. Thanks for joining us again. Things are not great.
Well, they haven't been for some time now. It's nothing. If you listen to this to hear something great or hear about something that's great, I can't help you.
You need to go find a rerun of That's Incredible.
I wish that. Where do you see those at? I know you see them on the YouTubes and things like that. But where else can you watch those? Those are good.
Because this show should basically be called That's Bullshit, or That's Racist, or That's the End of America.
All three of those.
But those aren't catchy titles like Red State Update. Maybe a little dated. That might be a little dated as a title.
Red State. You know what else is a little dated? I think is calling the Republican Party in general. Just with the what is it? Republican GOP or whatever like that. They used to mean something else. I don't think what it used to mean means what it means anymore, as far as I can tell.
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Well, I guess that's part of it too.
I know that we've come over hardcore conservatives, folks. If you've never listened to the Red State Update podcast before, let me set the scene for you. I'm sitting in here with a little old man, a little grizzled old coot, I'd call him, a hillbilly, a redneck. What's another term? It's
what do you mean? I'm not a hillbilly. I don't live up in the hills. I got shoes on. I ain't sitting there barefoot or nothing.
Like a backwoods.
No.
Corncob wiping.
No, none of that. I'm
possum eating.
Born and raised Southern people used to say good old boys. I like that. I always like that term because it's good, And then you say old, but I guess O-L-E or good O-L-D because I'm old, but then also youthful and exuberant like a little boy.
Just a good old boys.
Yeah.
Never meaning no harm.
No, never, no.
But that's what people say when they have a Confederate flag on their roof.
Well, that part,
I don't mean no harm. What are you so mad about?
Just having a good time with this,
What? Did I trigger you, Lib? Maybe Roscoe and Boss Hogg were the good guys all along.
No, Boss Hogg that's what we got in the White House now. Is Boss Hogg worse than Boss Hogg would make a better president than what we got. He'd be scamming and scheming and all that as well, but I'd take him over this. Hell, who was the one that actually ran for office? Was it Cooter? He ran for office.
Cooter.
I'm sure he'd be terrible, but
Cooter. I don't know if he lives in Alabama, but I think Ben Jones should maybe, if Doug Jones ain't cutting the mustard in Alabama, maybe we get Ben Jones to move down to Alabama and run for the Senate seat that way. Because he does, there is a small niche, I don't know how small it is, honestly, racist Democrat. I think that is, I just called Cooter racist. I'd have to look up some of his policies.
Is he Democrat?
But I think he takes a pretty, he used to be a Democrat, unless he switched over. But I think he was okay with the Confederate flag. But if I made money off of Dukes of Hazzard museums, I might also be okay with the Confederate flag.
It's a little hard for him to go, even though you should. It's a little hard for him. That's your bread and butter right there. I can't,
I'd like to think that even if I did own a Dukes of Hazzard museum, I wouldn't be okay with the Confederate flag. I don't know how I would reconcile the two halves of my personality.
It's in the point you just made right there. It's in the museum where it belongs. Museum.
That's right. Confederate flags don't belong in front of the courthouse or on a statue. They belong in Ben Jones's Cooter Dukes of Hazzard Museum.
That's where it belongs. It's a history. It was on TV as a popular show. You shouldn't put it on TV nowadays. It's a Dukes of Hazzard history. But he's doing the right thing, I think. Keep it in the museums. That's where you're supposed to be.
I'm sorry I called you racist, Cooter.
I hope it's not.
I hope you're not.
No. And a lot of time has passed because there was a time where I never did care for, I never had it up or didn't, put it up. Because to me, it was always. And
What
I
are you
know
talking about?
I'm talking about the Confederate flag.
Oh, right, okay.
To me, it was always kind of associated with trashy people, is what I thought. Not so much church-going people, but trashy people, like outlaws or that sort of thing. But even now, there was a time when people thought that was okay. But I mean, we should know better by now. But evidently, a lot of us don't.
Sound like you're a snob.
What do you mean, a snob?
Trashy people. Aside from the racist iconography, what counts as a trashy person to you? Oh, maybe they ain't got as much money as them Got Rocks Broyleses.
What?
The Vanderbilts of Murfreesboro, the Broyleses.
First off, it don't cost it, but it was
flashing their jewelry and fat bankrolls around the town
square.
square.
What are you talking about? One time, it didn't cost much to get you a rebel flag belt buckle. Now, that maybe the price of that's gone up these days. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Never been in the market to buy them.
I think they hand them out at Trump rallies.
Well, that may be the case, but so you didn't have to be nothing special to get into that. If you got an opportunity to get a flag, of course, I guess nowadays they're both equally offensive. I don't know if that should be the case or not. Get your American flag. If you got to have a flag on the belt buckle, on your shirt, on your truck, or somewhere, of course, I know a lot of you got both of them, which that don't make a damn bit of sense. But that, what you gonna do?
If you want to prove you're an outlaw and show your true country good old boy roots, put an American flag on your belt buckle and wear a T-shirt of Johnny Cash.
Oh, there you go.
You don't have to be extra.
Racist.
It's just everybody calm down.
Well, these days it's a little hard to calm down. I'm gonna say right now, it's hard.
No, I meant for the racists to calm down.
Oh, I
said
them to.
everybody, but I meant the racists.
Just primarily the racists to calm down. Yeah,
because there's a lot of racists who really want you to know how racist they are. Hence the Confederate flags and our president.
Well, that's what he's made it fashionable thing to be, which it shouldn't be. He's made it popular. There's always been racists.
Trashy fashionable. Fashionable.
Right. There's always been racists in this country. Been racists all over the world. That's nothing new. But now they used to not come outside with the torches and make a scene. I mean, sure, they do a little Klan march here or there, and everybody kind of laugh at them, throw a rock at them or something like that. But nowadays, it's basically what the president's doing. These are pretty much big, what do you call them? I guess a bit rally. I mean, that's what it is. Especially now, since last week, it's just full on. It was always that, but now it's just full. I mean, they're pulling the shades down, or opening the blinds wider and wider. Here's what it is. Remember, they used to talk about all the time when he was first running for president. What was it? Outright. You remember?
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that no more. And it ain't because Steve Bannon's gone away, thank God.
Well, there's plenty of alt-right people they talk about, but when you're talking about the president, you don't have to.
No, it's a Republican Party. It's a GOP.
Specify they're all that.
Yeah, that's all it is now. Steve Miller.
I mean, there's some alt-right thought leaders out there bringing the Republican Party to the right.
Yeah, right. If that's what you will call it the right.
Further right.
Further.
Alter right.
Yeah. How much further they gonna go? I'm getting concerned. I'm a concerned American. I don't know how far. I mean, send them home, send them back. What's next? I mean, aside from the concentration camps and all the children, all the brown people locked up, besides that, how much further can it go? I'm scared to find out.
So, Jackie,
Yeah.
there was a story in the Washington Post about Michael Schur inside the political crisis caused by Trump's racist tweets.
Inside the political crisis.
So there's a whole thing here, Jackie. There's a whole saga. Like, he started tweeting on his own. He'd been watching Fox and Friends after waking up, the story says. This is how all his days begin that way.
Does he fall asleep to Fox and then wake up to it while it's on, or does the TV set on alarm? It goes off in time for Fox and Friends so he can hear it all day. I'm just curious how his TV. We all know all he does is watch TV all day. I'm just curious how they got it set up for him to do that.
So he sees these ladies, these squad.
The squad, yeah.
on TV, on Fox, because they've been turning them into bad guys, and right-wing media has been turning them into bad guys for a long time already. So he sees that on TV. Because he wouldn't know who they were if Fox wasn't telling him. He
wouldn't know a damn thing. Nobody would know. I guarantee you. Sure, there'd be some liberal people that like them, care for them, which is fine. But I guarantee you, more than half the people who know who they are wouldn't have a clue if it weren't for Fox News running their face and telling awful things about them 24/7.
Well, more Republicans. This is not a slam on them, except maybe for AOC. But even there, I mean, the right-wing press played a huge part in elevating her because right-wing men love to get mad at women, and they love to get mad at women who ain't white, and they love to get mad at people they think are whatever, socialist, communist.
They're kind of the perfect package for your average male Fox viewer, I think. You can't get any better, in a bad way, but you can't get any better than these women, this squad.
Love telling these women how stupid they are. So they're on Fox News. So Trump sees this and he tells everybody, hey, we're going to make them the bad guys, right? This is a great idea. So he starts tweeting. The president said he thought he was interjecting himself into Democratic Party politics in a good way.
Yeah.
As is often the case, Trump acted alone. The article goes on to say, impulsively following his gut to the dark side of American politics. Gross. His gut. And now the country would have to pick up the pieces. He realized that part of it was not playing well, said Senator Lindsey Graham, a Trump confidant.
Yeah.
Gross. Who golfed Saturday with the president and spoke to him about it on Monday. Well, he always doubles down. Then he adjusts. Also
what?
Gross.
That doesn't... What...
So, Trump goes off on his own. He's the president. He singles out these women who they'd been talking about on Fox, and they'd been talking about, hey, these women of color in Congress, we can just make them the bad guys. And then people come to him and say, maybe we ought to back off of this. The goal is to push back against them and make it not about you, Lindsey Graham said. But then he doubled down on it.
Yeah.
They voted on the House. Remember when they voted on the House floor?
Oh, yeah. That was a big, important vote. The president's a racist. Well, let's all vote on it.
We're going to have that vote again in 2020.
That one, I think, matters just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Yeah. It's important. I don't mean to belittle. It's important. Anybody saying that he's racist at this point, I appreciate them being honest. So I can't sit there and say bad on Nancy Pelosi for having a vote on that. Anybody that says it, it's what needs to be said. Now, is it going to affect anything? Does it help anything? Probably not. Probably makes things worse. Sure did seem like it. That a lot of Republicans mad as hell. Don't you? You can't say it. Stop that. I'd retract those words on and on and on.
So this turned it into a thing where Trump, it's a thing he had to win. So he's on the phone calling everybody in Congress, you better not to say I'm racist. Called them all up. The White House would mobilize an intense whip operation, also known as Stephen Miller's Saturday Night, putting Trump repeatedly on the phone to keep his members in line. Just, can you imagine? This is it. I'm finally going. The president's on the phone for you, Senator. Then just as many felt the firestorm was coming under control, Trump's own supporters would set it ablaze again with a send her back chant in Greenville, North Carolina.
That ain't the last time I heard that chant at one of these rallies. I guarantee you that.
Oh, he didn't like it, Jackie. He did not like it.
Oh, yeah, he could not stand it. I started speaking quickly. I just frowned upon that. No, it's not good. But then, 2 days after that? Now, these people were patriots. Doesn't care. Doesn't matter whether I like it or not. These people love America more than this squad ever will. They're not capable. Remember, the squads, they're not capable of loving this country.
Well, you can't love this country if you're not a Trump supporter.
Yeah, that's true.
And Lindsey Graham said that, right? Well, if they were a Somalian refugee who loved Trump, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
In the end, Trump succeeded in at least one respect. Just a few days earlier, he had publicly pined for days when he could put out a tweet that took off like a rocket. Now he had done it again. America had to choose sides, and he had drawn the dividing line. It's a good behind-the-scenes look at this dumbass who just does what he wants, and the entire Republican Party following behind, not knowing what to do.
Now, I agree that he's a real perpetrator of this because he's in the position of power. He's the president. President should watch what he says. I get that. I understand he's where we need to focus our energy, but he wouldn't be saying any of this if he didn't see it on Fox News 24 hours. That's who starts it. And then after this says it, the entire GOP, every single one of them sons of bit cowards, excuse my language, just get on. Well, he shouldn't say racist things, but this wasn't racist. Well, why did you say you shouldn't say racist things? It shouldn't even come into it if this wasn't racist. He wasn't meaning it that way. Here's how he meant it. I know damn well how he meant it. Everybody knows how he meant it. Just be honest. Just say he shouldn't say racist things except for this. This is okay. This is as racist as he can get. I can get behind this. If he gets any more racist, I might have to, more racist than locking up people of color into cages? You mean more racist than that? Yes. If he gets more racist than that and then saying people to go back home.
Well, it's like if you go to the amusement park, there's a sign that says, you got to be this tall to ride this ride. So I guess for Trump, like, you got to be this racist to be in the Republican Party. Yep. But then I guess if you were like 12 foot tall, you couldn't get on that ride either. So it's like, if you're this racist, we're gonna, Marco Rubio might tweet a scripture.
Yeah.
But they don't stop the ride when you get on and you're a giraffe, a racist giraffe. Apparently the ride still works. Yeah. So they're like, oh, shit, we can't let a giraffe get on here either. And then the giraffe gets on, like, well, I guess it's okay. The ride's still going.
Pitiful. Every one of them, pitiful. And there's so many of them. Let's be first. There's a lot of these congressmen, senators. Gates and we could go down the list. Who don't know any better? They literally as dumb as the president. That's all there is to it. But I'm talking about people like Mitt Romney, Scripture Rubios. These people know. Hell, Lindsey Graham knows better, or did at one time, I think. They're pitiful. These, excuse my language, dumbass racist. I mean, I feel weird about calling them racist, but I might as well call them because they're okay with everything. If they're okay with this, doesn't that even make them, and they're not racist, doesn't that even make them worse than a racist?
Trump agreed to say the chants were wrong, but few thought that would be the end of it. Indeed, by Friday, he was attacking the four lawmakers again, suggesting that no criticism of the country should be tolerated, and praising the rally chanters he had distanced himself from just a day earlier. Incredible people, incredible patriots. Little sign that Trump had been cowed by the week's experience. I think that Stephen Miller on Chris Wallace on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, people are trying to eat breakfast.
He can call in if a president can call in. Of course, they still put a little picture of the president up with that. Stephen Miller might as well call in. They don't look like he needs to get out in the sun too much anyway. Just call and put a picture of. What would you put a picture of? Represent him, not have to see his face.
I can't think of anything that represents him more than his face.
I don't want to have to look at it, though.
I know, but I don't know what describes what's in his heart any more than his face does.
You got a point there.
So he's on there, and he says, these four congresswomen detest America as it exists, as it is currently constructed under Trump. They hate the Trump administration.
Yeah.
They want to, so do we. They want to tear down the structure of our country. They want it to be a socialist, open borders country. If you want to destroy America with open borders, you can't say you love your country. If you attack border agents, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter if American citizens lose their jobs, lose their homes, lose their livelihoods, lose their health coverage, lose their very lives. So you can't criticize America.
Not when he's president. No.
Not when he's president.
Not when he's president, yes.
But when he's not president.
Oh, raise holy hell.
But I mean, that's some nimble thinking. He must know that Chris Wallace, at this point, he must know that Chris Wallace is going to challenge him a little bit. He's going to get mad.
Everybody should know that when you go on his show, yeah.
So he did manage to twist it around pretty quick, but it's still just bullshit. I mean, he's... Throughout this interview, Chris, you're continuing to conflate Donald Trump's criticism of President Obama versus AOC's deep and systemic criticisms of the country itself. So if you criticize Obama, you're a patriot.
Well, yeah.
But when that patriot becomes president and you criticize him, you got to go.
Well, that's, we
gonna buy you a ticket. What did that one guy say? What was he, a Republican, like a state senator? I don't know. Probably. Like, you so mad, I'll buy you a ticket to get out.
Ticket. Go on, get out.
But see, maybe we're going to buy you a ticket. Like, that's what this is really about, is like, who's buying the tickets? Like, you just sit there and watch. You don't like it, you can leave. I'll buy you a ticket. We'll throw the gates open. If it's so bad here, they can leave. Like the kids in the cages. That's what they always say about everybody. Kids, let the kids go. Yeah, they can go. You're all free to leave. The ones in jail, the ones we've killed, those women on Breitbart I see, whoever they are and whatever they're doing, socialists, all of them, go. It's fun. It's a fun time to be a Republican, I would imagine.
No.
I would imagine they're having a lot of fun over there trying to figure out the best way. Who else was out there defending him?
We may figure it out. It's just you. I guess we're racist now. Now we're racist, but I'm not going to say that we're racist. I'm going to say, no, it didn't mean anything.
Well, we
racist.
are all racist.
We are. Just say it.
We're going to let the president the president's taking the lead on the racism, and he's going to get back to us on where we're supposed to. How can the president be racist when he's trying to get A$AP Rocky out of Europe jail?
Yeah. Who is that now?
When Kanye West called, let me ask you something. Obama wouldn't talk to Kanye West on the phone. So who's the racist? If Kanye West called the Obama White House, I'm almost positive they were supposed to tell him he was out of the country on important business.
Yeah, they'd make up something. Yeah.
Trump will talk to anybody who he has seen in a red hat.
He talked to anybody, kiss his rear end long enough. He don't care who it is.
He does not care who it is. I mean, Mike Pence is his vice president. How's Mike Pence defend? Oh, Mike Pence. I don't even think we got to talk about Mike Pence standing in them camps.
I don't even want to talk about it. It's shameful. Shameful. Sometimes Mike Pence, as awful as he is, which is truly, truly terrible, awful man. Let's be clear about that. Sometimes he looks a little perplexed and like, I got to defend this. But he manages to do it. He just has a moment there where he's like, all right, how am I going to spin this? But he manages to do it, however it is. But sometimes he almost looks like he have a little bit of sense. But he don't. He don't.
I know we talked about a lot of the evangelicals, the way they get their mind around Trump and everything, which people are like, how is this Christian? They just think, well, this is all so fucked up. It wouldn't be happening if God didn't want it. It doesn't make any sense any other way. Which, that almost makes sense to me. That's the only way I can figure it out. I guess God's an asshole. Because I don't know what's happened here. But I'm sure Mike Pence, a lot of these evangelical leaders are really good, like Stephen Miller, at twisting facts around into something you say in front of other people, like a congregation or Chris Wallace. So I'm sure Mike Pence is just like, well, I guess this is where God wants me.
If he didn't, I wouldn't be here.
I didn't know that God's will would taste so much like Trump's asshole.
So be it.
So be it.
Give me another scoop.
Do with me as thou willst, my Lord.
Well, I tell you what, I ain't the most Christian man. I don't go to church. I am a Christian now. I believe in a good Lord, a good book, and I don't go to church as often as I should. But, well, these days I definitely don't go to church around here that often. I'll tell you that right now. Because I ain't going to hear it. Jesus didn't Jesus like everybody. I understand that. Jesus he loved like everybody. But I tell you, if he loved like everybody, he definitely didn't love, he loved them, but didn't want people in cages. He didn't. I guarantee you, Jesus would not approve of this. That's one thing I do know about Jesus is that.
I went to church last Sunday, Jackie. Well, I'd broken into a church, drunk, passed out, woke up as church was going on in the little vestibule right over so I had to keep my head low. But let me tell you what the service was. It was pretty much, shall we gather at the river?
Right, that's a good part. I like that, yeah.
Prayer requests.
Well, yeah, sure.
Send them home.
Huh?
Send them back.
Huh?
A few chants. The sermon. I'm sending them back. And then just as I am.
Well, all that's good except that part before
the racist
last.
part in the middle. I know. I was like, well, this is kind of church, except now it's all about how great Trump is.
That ain't no kind of church I want to go to. I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Even the preacher was trying to figure it out. He was saying, Jesus said, take care of the weak and help the poor and the sick and the hungry. But Trump says, send them back.
Grab them by the you-know-what.
Grab them, slap them.
Pay off porn stars.
Give me, stay in this hotel, stay in my hotel. Saudi Arabia, Muslims are bad. I need that Saudi Arabia money. But I'll tell you what. Trump's a lot funnier than God. And that was pretty much the sermon.
It's funnier.
Well, it's like, when Trump's like, send them back. He said, that was funny.
No, Jesus didn't tell
comedic. He said it was comedic.
Jesus didn't tell no jokes. You shouldn't even compare the two.
Well, some people have a oblique sense of humor.
Well,
it wasn't a good church, and I'm glad I busted that window
yeah,
and shit in the floor.
What?
Jackie?
What?
The president is terrible.
I know that.
Luckily, with this strong crop of Democrats percolating in the hopper,
Hell.
We won't have Trump to kick around much longer.
Don't be so sure about that. We're going to find out just how racist this country is. No, it's always been racist. We always knew, but now we're going to find out just how much. I mean, we're finding out every day a little bit more. Like, it's a lot more racist than I ever thought it was. And that naive me, of course, I'm white, so how the hell would I know? I'm learning.
Speaking of white people, the Democrats have some debates coming up. The first night is all white people.
White night, yeah.
I like Roddy McDowell.
Now, they didn't do that on purpose. They didn't have white night. How they wound up with that was them putting things in boxes and pulling it out, and music playing, and the overhead camera, and all this. But CNN, let's just say this right now: they're as bad as Fox, but less racist.
Like, if they were good at being the news, we wouldn't have half of these problems.
No.
But they suck at it.
They're terrible. Like, what am I looking at? Why? They're sitting there playing this dramatic music, and I'm going to put my hand in the box and pull out what? And they're going on and talking up what they're doing, something of their own damn design, like this is really something here that we're doing. We came up with, what? Just tell me who is going to be on the debate. fine. If that's how you want to do it, draw it out of a hat, a box, whatever you want. But I ain't got to sit there and watch that.
It's like bingo, only it appeals to even older people.
Not me.
Dramatic music. Reach in a box. Pull it out. Michael Bennett.
Nothing rewarding out of that experience you just described is what it was.
Geraldo might as well go over to CNN because it's like damn Geraldo's vault, but like 20 times in a row.
You could swap him out with Santorum, and I really don't think I'd know the difference. As far as what
I think
to
that's
say.
I think you get a good trade.
That works out for everybody, doesn't it?
If I had Santorum, what, in my car or staying with me at the house or married to him, whatever, and you're like, I'll trade you Geraldo for Santorum, I'd be like, yeah.
A good deal.
I mean, most of the time it's better. Some of the time it's worse.
Sometimes worse, most
But
of the time
hey, that's
better.
everything. That's everybody, right?
As far as I know, Santorum ain't ever took a picture with his shirt off, put it on Twitters.
As far as you know.
As far as I know. But I hope he don't listen to this. I don't want to give him any ideas. Never do that. Never do that.
So on July 30th, it's next week, Jackie. You excited?
Yeah.
Sanders,
Yep.
Warren,
Oh, yeah.
Buttigieg,
Yep.
Beto,
Yep.
Klobuchar. That is white. Let me just Sanders, Warren, Buttigieg, Beto. It's like, you start name the first three, you're like, that's white. And then
Yep.
you go Beto, like,
Yep.
damn.
Yep.
Klobuchar, Hickenlooper, Marianne Williamson,
Yep.
Tim Ryan. Remember Tim Ryan?
No.
John Delaney.
Who? What?
John Delaney is the bald guy.
Oh, why is he still?
The bald guy never going to get elected president, no matter who you are.
No. Unless you're real racist.
Unless you're real racist.
That's the only chance you got. If you're bald and run for president, you better be as racist as you can be, which this guy is not doing.
Now, if you're shaved head bald, that's something different, and we'd probably have to go on a case-by-case basis. Savage Steve Austin, yes, he could become president, of course.
Maybe, yeah.
But if you're just a bald guy with regular bald hair, you're not going to be president.
Got the ring around the head. They
You
got
idiot.
Yeah. Sideburn.
No offense, your intentions may be great, but look in a mirror and tell me if that looks like Mr. Damn President. It doesn't. His staff, there's an Axios story that John Delaney, the bald guy, run for president. His staff is Bernie Sanders is bald. When I said the bald guy running for president, did you think of Bernie Sanders? No, because he is 100 years old. And does he know he's bald?
He's not aware of it because he combs it like he got one piece of it that he combs over the thing. Well, for that matter, old, our buddy Biden got hair plugs.
Yep, but that's not bald.
That's not bald, but he was bald. He got that.
We, as a nation, apparently are fine with crippling narcissism. With huge blind spots regarding your hair, as long as you've got hair.
Yeah.
You can spend millions creating tortured nests on top of your hair that look terrible, and everybody knows it's terrible, but they'll vote for you because you've got hair, sort of, and you're racist.
Yeah.
Biden, again, the Democrats Trump. Got some kind of hair, got some problems he has to address.
Yeah. He tries to address, sometimes it just seems to make it worse.
So there was an Axios story that bald John Baldlaney, his staff is begging him to drop out of the race. His staff.
Of course they are.
I mean, like everybody else.
They need to go get a real job. They can't, what?
The only reason they're begging him to drop out and not all of America is they're the only ones who knows who he is.
Well, yeah.
They do. They're like, I got an interview at CVS this afternoon, so I can't drive you to the AM radio station. And Steve Bullock from Montana.
Yeah.
I don't know what he is. He's a governor or a congressman or a bison.
Yeah, I don't. These people, why don't the American people get mad at these people? Because they're basically just taking time away from people who we're going to have to listen to one way or the other. Now, granted, taking time away from Joe Biden embarrassing himself worse, maybe there's something to that. Maybe that's Biden's plan to stay in the race, keep a ball guy on the end. Maybe he's secretly funding these people money to keep them on stage to, keep the pressure off of him. But I don't know. Nobody listening to anybody except for, who is it? DeSantis, him, Harris, Warren, Bernie. That's it. Ain't nobody listening to the rest of them.
You think Beto's got a chance? The only reason I even bring that up is because people love pudgy-faced comeback stories.
And there ain't no comeback come from him. No, he needs to go back and run for the damn Senate. That's where we need people. We don't need them. We got enough for president. Need people run for the damn Senate.
Too late.
I know.
What's he going to show back up? Hey, remember?
Well, he ain't making no money anymore, I don't think. A lot of them ain't making a dime, and the less money you make.
I think I heard on another better researched podcast that he made more money. I don't remember. Yeah, his money is dried up.
Yeah.
He was doing better, I think, when he was running for Senate in Texas.
Forgot to mention Buttigieg with the other ones. He's making a lot of money. People are interested to see what he got to say, except for who's not in. They wouldn't let him.
The Blair Garner country music radio show.
Not going to have him.
He recorded an interview with him because Buttigieg reached out. Apparently, he was in Nashville. He reached out and said, hey, I'll come do your radio show. And they recorded him, and Cumulus Nashville or whatever won't let him put it out. And in their defense, I mean, the whole thing I'm reading, it's like, they're against Democrats. They're in Trump's pocket, which might be true. I ain't read about this company, so who the fuck knows?
I ain't watch it.
They just don't want country music. They think every country person's going to vote for Trump. They don't want to stir the pot. They're anti-gay. But then they said, there's just so many people running for president that we don't want to open the door to this.
Hell.
And for a second, I kind of thought, well, do they really want Andrew Yang coming in the studio? And Andrew Yang, actually, I'd listen to that because I still don't 100% understand this $1,000.
Yeah.
I definitely would listen to Marianne Williamson on a country music show.
Sure.
But he'd have to talk to John Delaney. He'd have to talk to Michael Bennett.
That's where all these people need to go. Get them out of there.
So I'm not saying that Cumulus ain't bad and they're not harming democracy, but if their excuse is just like, I don't want Tulsi Gabbard coming over, I mean, sure.
I tell you what it is, they don't the gay thing, of course, if he's a Christian and all that stuff. But he's the one that talks more about faith than the rest of them. The rest of them scared to talk about that. He don't mind. He got him being gay, I guess, makes it safer for him to do so, as far as liberals are concerned. Of course, that just riles up Christians that don't like gays, which evidently there's a lot of them. But he probably said something worth a damn, and that's the reason they ain't going to put it on there. If they worried about him, they ain't going to put him on there. Because he does. He's the only one that talks about what a man of faith should do. He's one that can say that and run down Pence and the rest of them, saying they're the furthest thing from a Christian he'd ever seen. And the same, I agree with him on that, yeah. So they didn't want no Christians to hear him.
It's up on a SoundCloud, on Blair Garner's SoundCloud, if you want to hear Mayor Pete talk.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to hear it, but I'm assuming that's what he said.
Listen, Mayor Pete, if you want to reach the South, it's not going to be through us, but if you want to come on here, would you talk to Mayor Pete?
I talked to Mayor Pete. He seemed like smart. He, seemed like a...
If he wants to talk country music, I'll talk about anything he wants to, as long as it was made before Chris Gaines.
How old is he? He's young. He ain't gonna know anything any of that.
No, if he comes on here, he better brush up on some damn Willie's Roadhouse.
Yeah, that's the invitation. We'll have him at he may be the one we pick in our poll. Remember the poll we're gonna have to figure out who we're gonna support?
We're gonna, folks. We haven't announced this yet.
Well, are we going to announce it now? Or are we gonna wait? Go ahead and announce it. Hell, but we ain't doing it right now. But it's coming up.
We just thought that we needed to do our part to help get Trump out of office.
Yeah.
And all these Democrats are running. I mean, we just named all the white ones on the first night, and people don't know half of them.
No. I've forgotten it since you mentioned him.
Michael Bennett, he's the one who talks like this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Michael Bennett. Is that?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
De Blasio. The second night's Biden, Harris, Booker, Castro, Yang,
Yeah.
Gillibrand, Gabbard, Inslee, Michael Bennett, de Blasio. We got rid of Swalwell. We didn't.
He's gone, yeah.
So we're going to pick one of these people and throw our support behind them.
We're going to do a CNN thing, except y'all don't have to watch it. We're not going to put you through that. Well, you don't have to listen to us do it in the thing. But we're going to put them in a hat, a box, or something.
One of them, we're going to pull it out of a hat or a box or something.
We're going to support them. We're going to
put
endorse
in that
them.
litter box.
What?
The old litter box you got in here.
I ain't going to reach in a litter box. Why am I going to do
It's
that?
old.
I know it's old, but I don't want to.
Well, I don't see nothing else.
I know what's been in there. Wash it out first, and I'll put it in there. But the thing is, I ain't going to
you
put
got
my hand in
a
a litter
hose?
box. You can take it out back, run a
I'll
hose
hose
in
it out, and then
hose
we'll
it out.
put-
That's good enough.
I'll hose this litter box out, and then we put all the names of the
Well,
Democrats
let
in
it dry first. You can just hose it out and throw a bunch of paper in there. You won't be able to read it. You hose it out, take a lid off of it. It's one of them litter boxes got a lid on it. Supposed to keep a cat smell in it. It doesn't let it get out. So take a lid off of it, wash it out, let it dry overnight, leave it outside or somewhere, let the sun get to it.
Okay.
And then cut up a name, paper, whatever, put it in there. Pull one out.
Okay.
That's who we're going to support. We're going to endorse all the way up until they drop out. Then we'll do it again, depending on who it is. I mean, if we end up picking Joe Biden, there's still a chance he's going to drop out. We don't know. Let's be honest.
One
we don't know.
One of them will survive. The others, tough luck.
It's like remember that show Survivor? Except
Except they're not naked.
Well, thank God.
Who's going to stay into the end? If you had to pick three, who would you say stays in?
Well, we know Bernie don't like to get out no matter what.
Yep.
So he gonna be there till he can't be, either till he gets it or till he, an hour before the Democratic convention. So Bernie, as I'd put down the most, he's gonna stay in whether he's even close to getting it or not. He'll be around. Now, I don't know about Biden. Everybody was assured that was gonna be it. He's gonna be it. Now we don't know after watching him at first debate, and plus just him being Joe Biden.
If I see a scenario, as long as we're doing weird predictions, I see a scenario where Joe Biden is one of the last four, and instead of losing, he decides to be kingmaker and drop out and pick somebody he can throw his weight behind.
Well, I'll take that. That's better than I guess it winding up being him.
But if Buttigieg, I think, will try to stick in there until Biden drops out so that he can be the new Biden.
He wants to be vice president. That's what he's made for. You look at him, nothing says vice president like Buttigieg. Built for it.
Harris and Warren will be in there to the end, too.
I think so, yeah.
So we say the four that'll be in there to the end are Harris, Warren, Sanders, and Buttigieg.
Not Biden. Maybe.
Maybe Biden, but I put Biden closer to dropping out before the end, unless he wins.
Yeah. God help us all.
What's he, Franken for vice president or what?
Who?
So, we're going to pick one of these candidates to throw our support behind, and we're going to give you the full support of Red State Update podcast. And we're going to do everything we can to support that candidate, even if it's Jay Inslee. Even if it's John Delaney.
Who?
The bald one.
Nah, he'll be gone before we put it a name. For that litter box ever dries out, he'll have dropped out. Well, you're still listening to the Red State Update podcast. This is Jackie Broles.
Folks, people, this is Dunlap.
We hope you're still listening in the United States.
It could just be playing in the background.
That's true. Hey, We're still talking.
You ever go through drive-through and you got a podcast playing, you have to turn it down, and then you're like, you get your food, and you just park under a tree somewhere, you stuffing Taco Bell in your face. It's home. You're like, well, should I rewind that or just
You don't want to
let it
listen.
play?
Don't want to listen to us while you eat, I don't think.
You can't rewind it because you got sauce and cheese all over your phone.
Yeah, you don't need to touch anything on there, yeah.
You get it all over your phone. So just leave it alone. Let it play. So maybe you missed this part. You'll never know what we said.
Which is good, because this part we really didn't say much of anything, so that's fine. It's missing this.
Yeah. So if you're just now tuning back in and you're like, oh, what just happened? Like, don't worry, nothing.
Nothing worth a damn. Just yeah, don't.
But if you enjoy nothing, I'm sorry, Jackie. I
No,
cut you off. What were you going to say?
Huh?
If you enjoy professionally produced podcasts, then why don't you go over to our Patreon page and throw us $1 or $2 or $5?
Yeah.
If you give us $5, you get an extra podcast just like this, but maybe a little worse, called 20 Extra Minutes.
On that one, we definitely talk about nothing, but some people seem to prefer that to politics.
It's a fun club to be a member of.
Yeah.
A little club of people who waste money and give it to people like me and Jackie, your friends.
And by nothing, I mean Quenchy, the show Quenchy. By nothing, I mean if you're under the age of 48, it's literally nothing. You're going to know what it is. But we enjoy it.
I said ASAP Rocky earlier.
Who?
ASAP Rocky
Who's
in jail.
I don't know what he did.
So, folks, also, your money goes to support other podcasts that we do, including Redneck Matinee.
More of those coming up soon.
We do have several. We're working on several at the same time.
I know, but it's coming. You're gonna get. I'm telling you,
gonna dump them out on you.
Yeah, it's all coming. You're gonna get Smokey and the Bandit 2. You're gonna get Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can in one. We managed to put those into one of them. I think that kind of covers it all.
Time
that you
is
got
at
to say about
premium.
that.
That's the other thing about talking about nothing.
Sure.
People, I just read this, Jackie. People's commutes are typically, on average, less than 30 minutes. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're like, well, I got to go to work now. And then another podcast will come on your phone before you get done with work. So on your way home, you ain't ever going to pick this up again. This is probably the last thing you heard right before you got to work. And you'll never know about our great sponsors coming up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the local sponsors, as much as we appreciate all of our patrons who support us, we still need that little extra help to keep the lights on, computers running, the microphones turned off and on and working. And that's what we do here. We do local Murfreesboro sponsors. If you're not from Murfreesboro and you come traveling through, you're going to hear a lot of suggestions, a lot of great places, and of course, to all of our local listeners, you're going to hear about some good deals and some great products and some just outstanding establishments located here in Rutherford County, Tennessee, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I'm sure Dunlap has a terrible sponsor that I will not like that will somehow upset me, that I don't want to hear about. So I'd rather him just go ahead and say whatever he's going to say to get it over with, so I don't have to think about it when I do my sponsor, because I know he'll run mine down too. This isn't so much for you listening out there. This is just me trying to work this out for myself right now.
Well, thank you, Jackie. And it's true, I do have a great sponsor this week.
Yeah.
Friends, has it been hot as hell?
Oh, it has been around here, yeah.
Would you say that your balls and vaginas
All right. See, already.
are a musky swamp
Enough.
of sweat and goo, unidentifiable summer genital goo?
Just say this hot and at the end of the story. I don't need to hear about everybody's business as far as that's concerned. Nobody wants to hear it unless it's some sort of product that's supposed to take care of sweating down there. I don't want to hear about it.
You're right, Jackie. It's been very hot, and there ain't nothing none of us can do about it, except head on over to Mrs. Chickens. Yes, friends, that's Mrs. Chickens. You know them. They've took over most of the Skunksicle locations here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Thank God for that, even though still, yeah, but that's better, yeah. I'll take chicken over smelling that any day.
Friends, when I say Mrs. Chickens, you may think of sizzling hot, crispy, crunchy, wrapped tight around the bone. That's Mrs. Chickens. Well, for summertime friends, Mrs. Chicken said, I've got an idea. I'd like to make everybody cool.
Yeah.
Not cool like Fonzie or Chester Cheetah, but cool in the way that you stop sweating around your genitalia.
All right. Why did if they're selling chicken, they don't need to have anything to do with nobody's genital area. Any of that.
Well, they actually said don't mention genital area, but
Well,
I
why
said,
would you?
well, I think they're wrong. I'm trying to sell chicken.
They give you $25. Do what they said to do. Don't
They don't own me. Friends, Mrs. Chickens has the coldest chicken in town. Mrs. Chicken's delightfully freezing cold chicken. Now, you've gone to, I'd say, Kroger and pulled some cold chicken out of a cooler before. You've gone to the Colonel and you've gotten a bucket of piping hot chicken that you've eaten all you could of and then stuffed the rest in the refrigerator, and in the morning you reached in to that bucket to pull out a cool piece of chicken.
Well, yeah.
Well, friends, Mrs. Chickens has outdone them all when it comes to cold chicken. Thanks to new refrigerating technology.
What?
And a friend in the Freon business, Mrs. Chickens, has got the coldest chicken in town. Ice cold. Put your tongue around that cold, ice cold, dark or white meat.
Now, why am I going to go get, if I can just go KFC or wherever, Kroger, get it hot, and I can just make it cold myself? That way you get the best of both worlds. You get the good hot chicken dinner. Next morning, wake up for breakfast, cold chicken leg. Ain't nothing better. I'm in agreement with you there, but I want a little bit of both. And if I can make it cold on my own, why the hell I want to go with Mrs. Chicken?
Why would you make it half-ass cold when you could get the coldest chicken in town?
Well, what, is it frozen? I ain't going to eat
there
the
is
chicken.
ice on some pieces.
Well, I don't want to eat it that cold. I don't know anybody that does. Nobody want to eat frozen chicken. You want to eat, I like it cold, don't get me wrong, but the ice on it, no, it's too cold.
Did
too
you
cold.
not feel how fucking hot it was?
Watch your mouth.
How hot are your balls right now?
Shut your mouth. I don't want to hear about it.
Sizzling, friends. Your genitalia is sizzling, and nothing cools off your hot-ass genitalia like a cold-ass piece of chicken placed right on your tongue, or I guess your genitalia.
I don't start that. I knew you was going to say put that cold chicken in your drawers or wherever, and I don't want to hear about it.
How about some gravy?
What?
Some gravy with a thin film of ice.
Nobody likes cold gravy. Nobody. No. You're taking it too far. Cold
Get
piece
a
of chicken,
hard-
I understand that. No, nobody
Get a-
eats. If you leave a gravy in the fridge overnight, you're going to zap that in the microwave. Ain't nobody going to eat that gravy cold. Unless you hung over as hell and just suck it back, nobody going to like cold gravy. No.
Climate change is changing everything, Jackie,
hell,
including how people eat their mashed potatoes and gravy. I like to reach in and pry loose a cold, hard clump of mashed potatoes and then dip them into the almost iced over tub of gravy from Mrs. Chicken's, coldest chicken in town, folks. Look, if you get some macaroni salad from Mrs. Chicken's, you know how good that Mrs. Chicken's macaroni salad is.
Macaroni salad's cold. That's cold already. You gonna make it colder?
A block of iced macaroni salad.
Nobody wants that.
It's on a stick.
No.
And you lick the macaroni free.
I don't care what it's in or on. Nobody gonna eat that. No.
When it comes to beating the heat, coldest chicken in town. Some pieces of it have ice on them. That's Mrs. Chicken's.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Mrs. Chickens. I will say that. There's one good reason for you bringing it up. I don't care how cold the chicken is. Sound like it's too cold. Why anybody want to eat chicken with ice on it? But I know wanting to eat chicken. And like I said, you want to have best of both worlds. You get the chicken piping hot and delicious. I know sometimes when it's hot, you eat hot food, it cools you down. It does. Sometimes it's so hot, because, there's spicy chicken too. Different people have spicy chicken, but cold spicy chicken, that don't make a damn bit of sense to me. I don't know why you do it unless you put it, what you couldn't eat. You ate all that chicken, ate as much as you could, but you don't keep it overnight, put it in that refrigerator, then you can have a little bit of that spicy chicken. Now that makes some sense, but you can have it both ways. Why are you just going to pick it frozen? I wouldn't do that. And that's why when I get chicken, I go to Mr. Chickens. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Chickens. Delicious fried chicken, hot. Take it home, make it cold if you want, but it's coming out good the way it is. That's Mr. Chickens.
Mr. Chicken.
Mr. Chickens. Chickens for men. Chicken for men.
It's just like one of them things where it's like, oh, men need moisturizer, so let's call it like ballsterizer.
Oh, why do you keep bringing up that?
Or is it like when they have those wipes for your ass? And it's
All right.
Ass wipes.
No, it's nothing
They make
like
everything that just everybody has, but for men, and they make it real macho.
It's a legitimate
Axe
business.
body spray.
Glad is behind Mr. Chickens. They open it up since they got all these Mrs. Chickens. They said, well, give people an option. Sure, if you want Mrs. Chickens, fine, go there. That's fine. Get it cold as you want.
No.
But some men want chicken from men. And
That's Mrs. Chickens. It's for men and women.
Well, women now, first let me make this clear. Women are welcome to eat at Mr. Chickens. It's not like they ain't allowed to. You're more than welcome to. But I'm telling you, it's chicken for men.
That's sexist.
What do you mean it's sexist? Mrs. Chickens has got it right there in the name. Mrs. It's a she. Glad he's got Mr. Chicken. Mr. Chickens. Nothing wrong with that. Chicken's for men.
Are they married?
Huh?
Are Mr. and Mrs. Chicken married?
No, they're two separate businesses. No, they ain't married.
So, Mr. Chickens is unrelated to Mrs. Chickens?
As far as I know.
So he's just over there red pilling the chicken industry with, you got to be, what are you, a Proud Boy chicken?
What?
I don't know. It's sexist, Jackie. You can't have chicken for men.
You can have chicken for men, and that's just what Mr. Chickens has. And like I said, women, you may find out that you like chicken for men a little bit better than Mrs. Chicken, whatever she's making over there.
All chicken has been for men since time eternal. And finally, we're coming out, we're saying we got a Mrs. Chicken's doing great, and you got to come over here. Well, what about men? What about men's chicken?
I didn't say what about it. I'm just saying it's
implied in the name, Jackie.
Well, it's whatever. It's your choice. If you want Mrs. Chickens, go over there. If you want to be all inclusive and everything and blah 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 on and on, that ain't got nothing to do with this. This got to do with good chicken that men like to eat. That's it. You trying to make it all this other stuff, and women too. Some women like it when their husbands bring home Mr. Chickens. They do.
You're dealing with outdated. Jackie, everything you're saying is problematic. Like, why would you're basically, this is the equivalent of a straight pride parade for chicken.
No, it ain't nothing like that. It ain't got no kind of straight pride, nothing.
See, this is the problem. Mrs. Chickens has already been saying, I think we should just go genderless. Why don't we just be chickens? Why do we have to be Mr. and Mrs. and all this?
Hey, Mrs. Chicken started it. They decided to go with Mrs. Glad is. Decided they wanted to, we want to do chicken, but there's already
a step back.
There's already a Mrs. Chickens out there. That's great that Mrs. Chickens is out there providing as much chicken as women want.
It's not for Mrs. Chickens is out there trying to push us forward.
Mr. Chickens
to progress, and Mr. Chickens is over there dumbling down. Trump chicken it.
No, don't you dare say
you're trying to make chicken great again.
No, chicken's already great. Don't need to be made greater. This chicken's for men.
Oh, did you need a little safe space? Did you need a little safe space for your chickens?
Shut your mouth. Women can eat it. I didn't say you're not allowed in there. They don't frown upon it. If a woman wants to drive through the drive-through, they ain't going to send you on. You can go in and sit down and eat. Although most of the staff are men. I will say that.
It caused a minor scandal. Any of those men, are they not allowed to be left alone with women?
No, it ain't nothing.
They made a pact with
there's Hooters,
1800s God.
Remember, Hooters, that's all women, right? You ain't got no men out there serving any of the beer wings.
It's Mr. Chickens. They're all the men wearing like short shorts, and are they all like beautiful people, like super handsome, causing sexual fantasies and everybody in there?
No, it ain't that kind of establishment. It's just a regular chicken fast food restaurant for men.
So this is Gladdy. As we have established as a pattern as he told me drunk in the parking lot several times, he liked to come up with names similar to other names. Like he created a line of greeting cards he tried to get in independently owned drugstores around here called Hill Mark.
Well,
it was like Hill, comma, Mark.
Giving people.
And he said, if Hallmark ever says anything to me, I'll say, my name's Mark Hill. Hill, comma, Mark. Get it?
He's welcome to give people the options that some people require.
He rips off businesses' names.
No.
Creates confusing businesses.
How many fried chicken places are there here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee?
Well, let's name them. There's Churches.
Churches, KFC.
Is Mrs. Winter still around?
Maybe. I ain't been there for a while.
Dodges. There's KFC,
chicken,
yeah. There's
Kroger has chicken in there.
Bojangles.
Bojangles, I like Popeyes. I don't know if it's Popeyes. Not around, but you got to go a little ways, but you can get the Popeyes chicken, yeah.
Yeah, Hungry Howl's. Let's see. There's Mrs. Chicken, singular.
Yeah. And, well, there's Mrs. Chickens, like you.
And Mrs. Chickens, which is my sponsor today.
Mr. Chickens is mine.
Yeah, and there's Mr. Chicken, singular.
Mr. Chickens.
Oh, boy, I wonder if they got pissed off.
Who?
Chicken, singular, couple.
Say goodbye, friend. Saying bye-bye always brings us down. But our bags are packed and we have to leave town. A postcard to
Now, what is wrong with a man enjoying chicken the way he likes it, good and hot?
I don't know, Brett Kavanaugh. What do you think is wrong with it?
Nothing's wrong with it. Like I said, a woman can eat as much Mrs. Chickens cold, hot as she wants to. Now, why is a man not permitted to do the same?
Good job negging Mrs. Chickens.
What is it?